Hello, MAB Elementary. This is Mental Math for Lizards. I know you guys like to do it on Monday, and it's a holiday on Monday, so I'm going to give you something to do on Tuesday, just in case you want to work your mental math minds and make them stronger. Now, I'm going to show you some more complicated and tricky sort of problems, so it's going to take a lot of really careful thinking. And the other thing you're going to really need to do is, after you hear the problem from Mr. T, and I'm going to read it twice for you, you need to pause the video and figure out what you want to do with the problem, because it's going to take some thought. So here we go. There are 12 eggs in a carton. As the day goes on, John takes out 2 eggs for breakfast, and Mom uses 4 eggs to make custard. How many eggs are left? All right, listen to that again now. There are 12 eggs in the carton. As the day goes on, John takes out 2 eggs for breakfast, and Mom uses 4 eggs for custard. How many eggs are left? So pause your video, figure out your problem, come back and see Mr. T. So we know there are 12 eggs in a carton. But before we can figure out what we need to do, we know that Mom uses 2 eggs. John uses 2 eggs for breakfast, and Mom uses 4 eggs for custard. So first of all, we got to find out how many eggs get used. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 eggs. So we had 12 eggs in the carton, and we used 6, so we need to know how many are left. So we need to know the difference between 12 and 6. That makes it a subtraction problem. So 12 take away 6. Well, can I take away 6 units from 2 units? No, I cannot. Where can I get units? I can take one of those 10s, the 110, turn it into 10 units. 12 units, take away 6 units is 6 units. So there's 6 eggs left in the carton. This is called a 2-stage mental math problem. So you got to figure out and do 2 transactions, 2 functions before you can figure out the answer. Hope you got it. If you did, mark it right. If you didn't, fix it and learn. Here we go. There are 60 pieces of china in Grandma's set. Of these, 9 were broken, but she was able to replace 7 of these pieces. So how many pieces does she have in the set now? So Grandma had 60 pieces of china, 9 of them got broken, and she replaced 7 of them. So how many does she have now? Go ahead and freeze your video, and here's Mr. T's solution. So we know there's 60 to start with, all right? And then we know 9 were broken, but 7 were replaced. So let's take the 7 that were replaced from the 9 that were broken, so there's 2 still broken. 2 still broken. The 9 that were broken, 7 replaced, there are 2 left broken. That was a subtraction problem. So now, if she had originally 6 and we went through this breaking and then replacing, and she still had 2 that were broken, there's only 2 that's missing, right? So can I take 2 units from 0 units? No. But I can get 10 units here. Now I have 10 units, take away 2 units. I have 8 units and 5 10s. So there are 58 pieces of china left. Look carefully at the solution. See what I did? Fix yours. 2-stage mental math. Here we go. The garden has 63 new plants. Of these, 23 were hibiscus and 12 were roses. How many other plants are there in the garden? These are tricky. You got to listen to story problems like this and think about them as you set up the problem. The garden held 63 new plants. Of these, 23 were hibiscus and 12 were roses. How many other plants were there in the garden? Freeze your video. come back and see Mr. T. So, 63 plants in the garden, but first I got to figure out how many were hibiscus, 23, and how many were roses, 12. So if I add those two up, I get there were 35 plants that were either hibiscus or roses of the 63 total in the garden. So I want to know how many were not hibiscus and not roses. So I got to do a subtraction because I got to know the difference between hibiscus and roses, which is 35, and the total number of plants, which is 63. 5 units for 3 units, can't do it. Can find 10 units, 13 units, take away 5 is 8. 5 tens, take away 3 tens is, so we have 28 plants that were not hibiscus or roses. All righty, working those brains. Here in our favorite playground, listen for a minute and see if you can hear the birds. You know, we need to use all of our powers, our senses of observation. When you're out in nature, you listen, you smell, you taste. Now here come some voices of humans though, so I'll continue on with my lesson. Tony read 79 pages in the book Kidnapped, a classic. The next day he read 19 pages. The book has 371 pages. How many more pages does he have left to read? Very kind of practical math question, isn't it? All right, so let's see. Tony read 79 pages in Kidnapped. Okay. And then the next day he read 19 pages. So we want to know how many pages did he read so far. So we got to add them up. 9 is 18 units. 8 units there. 10 units got to be exchanged for 110. 7 tens, 110, 110 is 9 tens. So Tony has read 98 pages so far in Kidnapped. But we also know from our problem that there's 371 total pages in Kidnapped. So now we got to take away the 98 he's read. Make sure you line up your units with units, tens with tens, all right? So can I take 8 units from 1 unit? No, I cannot, but I can get 10 units here. Now I have 11 units, take away 8 is 3 units. Uh-oh, can I take 9 tenths away from 6 tens? Nope. But I can come here and take one of those hundreds, that'll leave me 2, and 100 can be exchanged for 10 tens. I got 16 tens now. 16 10 take away 9 tens is 7 tens, and I still have those 200s. So our boy Tony's got a lot of excitement left to read because Kidnapped is a really exciting book. He's got 273 pages of that classic left to go. Pretty cool. All right, lizards, I've given you some teasers there. If anybody wants some more to work on, just send me an email and I will send you the whole strip of story problems that I've been working from. And that being said, we'll see you next week. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend with your family. Mr. T from our favorite little playground, signing out.